Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Beis Halevi in his Maimer Bitachon, and he's describing to us this conundrum that a person might find themselves in the world of Bitachon, that yet, as much as they trust in Hashem and they rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu to take care of all of their needs, there is still an obligation to do hishtadlus, to make effort. And the Beis Halevi explained there are two reasons why. Number one, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished Adam HaRishon when he ate from the Eitz Hadas Toiv V'Ra, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He was not supposed to. The rest of the world was all his to enjoy and partake of. One little piece HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you're not allowed to touch. Man fell short in that nisayon, in that test. He ate from the tree. He enveloped inside of himself the Ra that was there, and he was punished. He was punished as a result. You're no longer an Adam HaShalim, you're no longer a complete person, and therefore you lose the schus of having everything taken care of for you. Now you'll have to involve yourself in yegia, in hard work and effort. You're going to eat from the sweat of your brow. So it's a curse. It is a punishment. Hishtadlus, because we lowered our madrega, our level, from where we once were. And the second reason, which we're still in the midst of over here, is the idea that since that you ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil and you imbibed the Yetzer Hara inside of yourself, so now, says the Beis Halevi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at man and says, now you're in big trouble. If I take care of all of your needs, and the rain comes by itself, and the bread comes by itself, and the malachim, the angels will feed you and wine you and dine you, you'll have all this extra time on your hand. You're no longer a pure person who's just going to sit and learn Torah all day long and daven and say Tehillim and work on your midas, ra'is, your bad character traits, and fix yourself up. You're going to have all this extra time. What are you going to do? You'll run around. You'll start doing chait. You'll be involved in sin. And therefore, I must enforce upon you a lifetime of hishtadlus, where you will have to make efforts to gain your sustenance here in this world in order to occupy your time and your abilities and your senses and your desires and your physical prowess and strength, to make sure that you're so busy doing other things you don't have time to do chait, to do sin. And that's what he quotes over here, v'chideisa b'kedushin. It's brought in Masechta Kiddushin, one of the tractates in Shas. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Eimer, it's at the very end of the Masechta. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says the following statement, where he is puzzled by what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has done. And he said over the following, did you ever see a wild animal or a bird that has to have a profession, a job? No, not at all. They don't know how to make business deals. They don't know how to build buildings. They don't know how to trade stocks. They don't know how to pull out people's teeth as a dentist to do brain surgery. They don't know any of that stuff. And yet they are misfarnasim. They receive all their sustenance without any suffering. It comes natural. The cat will chase the mouse. The lion will chase the antelope. The bugs will eat the leaves. The monkeys will eat the bananas. The fish will swim in the sea and eat the algae that's in the plankton that they can find in the bottom of the ocean. Every single animal that there is in the world has no particular profession, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu provides them with all of their needs constantly. Pesach es yadecha umazbiya lechol chayrotza, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu opens up His hands and He provides the needs of every living thing in this world. However, says Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, all of those animals were created only to serve me. Va'ani, and I was created to serve my master, the Ribbono Shel Olam. Doesn't it make sense? It's only logical, said Reb Shimon ben Elazar, that I should also be provided for without any tsar, without any hard work and suffering. Why should I have to go to work in the morning? Why do I have to work so hard? Why do I have to sweat and schwitz and do backbreaking labor to make a living? If my purpose is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I was placed in this world to daven and to learn and to do chesed and to take care of other people and then work on myself and become a greater spiritual being, Why do I have to be entrenched in a life of hishtadlus, of work? If the cat doesn't have to work, the mouse doesn't have to, the birds flying in the sky don't need to go to the office every single day to make a living, and they're only here, their existence is minimal at best. They're here to serve a human being. They're here just to keep the world going around, not to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, and yet they're given everything on a silver platter. So then me, my job is to do so much more, to be miyache, to connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the heavens and the earth, to bring the Shekhinah down here. Why do I have to be so busy with work? The answer is that I corrupted my deeds, and therefore I lost the schus, I lost the merit to be able to be provided for without any hard work at all in trying to attain my sustenance. And this, says the Beis Halevi, is the two pshatim, the two ideas that he says. Number one, man, he eviled, he made his deeds wrong, he did sin, he ate from the Eitz Hadas, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and therefore he was punished, that he lost the merits to be able to have no hard work and be able just to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu day and night. This is part of the punishment. And secondly, as we're saying, since that he's got the Ra, he has the bad inside of him now, the Yetzer Hara is always at work, always percolating and cooking inside of the person. Therefore, the work now will help him to hold him back from chasing after his lowly desires and the like, and he'll be able to just control himself and to learn and to daven and to work and be able to focus more in on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, ever since Adam Arishon sinned in Gan Eden, man, that's you and I, every human being in the world, has no choice but rather to be engaged in some kind of pursuit, some kind of a business, a work, yigia, hard work, hishtadlus, efforts, in order to attain their livelihood, to attain their sustenance in this world. And there's no escape, says the Beis Halevi. You're going to have to live a life of hishtadlus. You cannot avoid that. Why did we get it? For two reasons, says the Beis Halevi. How are we going to use that as a way to bring ourselves closer to Hashem? Because this is the question I'm leaving off with today, that if Bitachon is the primary way that we're supposed to live our lives, we trust completely in our Kodesh Baruch Hu that everything is coming from Hashem, so then hishtadlus is the greatest steer, it's the greatest contradiction to that, because I'm busy doing my work, I'm busy putting in my efforts, I'm busy making the deals, I'm busy plowing the fields. So how is it possible that in a world of necessary hishtadlus, a person is still going to be able to bolster up their bitachon properly in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? To that, be'ez Hashem, we will answer tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.